Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Star and Bisu here on Fighting Spirit. Bottom left-hand corner, the yellow Protoss player, it is Bisu. Showing here is only Star, but that's one of his Smurf names. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player, it is Isu Kokoa, also known as Star. I cast a game between these two players back in June, I think, around that time. And people in the comments very helpfully pointed out that there's a Liquidpedia page just with the username Star and Isu on there. So yes, this is Star. It's not a very populated Team Liquid page, but he gave Bisu all that he could handle last time these two players met. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure who this is, but we're going to call him Star this time. All right, so PvZ here on Fighting Spirit, the same map. The same map these two players played on back in June. These replays are from 2015 off of a Team Liquid replay pack that I got off of that site. Thank you, Team Liquid, for keeping StarCraft alive. Whew. Alright, so Silverlord scouting here, throwing up a pylon. It looks very much like a Nexus first tier from Bisu. Nah, just kidding. He just got enough that 200. Yep, there it is. Going for the gateway first tier. Moving on out. It does take me some time to adjust for the game speed and the game style from StarCraft 2 to StarCraft that I cast on my channel. I mean, at this stage of the game, if you have waited this long to get anything done, you have a ton of workers, because you start with 12 workers in StarCraft 2 as opposed to the 6 or 5 you have here in Brood War. Anyway, scouting up, it's a 4-player map. This probe tries to see what's going on, and there is nothing here in the top left-hand corner. Going to go the absolute wrong direction to try to find out where Star is. Overlord comes in for the scout, sees no Nexus first play from his opponent, which is nice, but he did go for the spawning pool first. This is not a 6 pool, but it's pretty early nevertheless. He's going to try to get some Ling pressure here on Bisu. Now, Bisu has seen every trick in the book. He's seen Zerg players who have said, I really can't hang in the late game with Bisu. Let's try to kill him early, and he's been dealing with this for years, right? Bisu has seen every single all-in that anybody can ever do in Brood War, and he's ready for it. He'll be ready for it. There's going to be Lings on the way, 2 Lings in production. Got Overlords hanging out. Probe comes in for the scout, sees the late hatchery timing. Is he going to see the Zerglings as they pop out here? And the Zerglings are going to head out, try to get something done. In production immediately is a Zealot. Zealot in a defensive situation is really all not that great. It's too slow to catch the Zerglings. In an offensive position, it's pretty good. It can chase down drones. It can get stuck back here, and so the Lings can't surround it. It's very, very fun, actually. But here come 4 Zerglings coming on down to try to get something down. Another Zergling on the way. Hatchery on the way here from Star 2. So this isn't a Zergling all-in by any stretch, but it is definitely going to be here to try to make Bisu sweat just a little bit. That said, the Zealots and the Probe here are going to hold the line. They can't lose this pylon, though. That's the problem. They can't lose the pylon. This one Zealot can handle 4 Zerglings. Another couple Zerglings are a problem. That said, the other Zerglings are busy doing other stuff. They're busy chasing this Probe around, it looks like. And what else? Oh, third hatch coming up too. So this is a very macro follow-up to this early Ling pressure. Did force some Zealots out of Bisu, which I'm sure he didn't want to do. But that said, the macro capabilities of Star were hurt as well. So it's just kind of a back and forth here. Zerglings trying to roll in. That is 3 Zealots, man. You can't take care of 3 Zealots with this handful of 5 Zerglings. You can't. 1 Zealot is good for about 4 Lings, because cost-wise, that's what it is. So that makes perfect logical sense and fairness, right? So to come in here, you need 12 Zerglings, and you do not have 12 Zerglings. And as a result, you should not go in there. And he's not. He's trying to kind of have map control, right? If the Zealots come out, he'll know. He'll be prepared for it. And I really just don't see Bisu pushing out. He's making another one, though. And we have seen him do this before. We've seen Bisu just go for a crazy Zealot push with Zealot pressure early on against a Zerg and really hurt him that way. And actually win a game. I believe I cast a game with Bisu where he did that. I just straight up won with it. So that's very exciting stuff. This is just keeping tabs on the Zealot count from Star. He doesn't want to engage. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to get in here and try to get something done. He's just here to see how many Zealots are being made by Bisu. And that is the important thing. Because if a lot of Zealots are being made, then it's a Zealot attack. And you're going to start throwing down sunken colonies and evolution chambers and stuff to try to block this front off, because Zealot push is scary stuff, man. That said, the Zealots don't really want to move out because the Zerglings will sneak in behind them and kill stuff. But now that cannon is done, I think maybe it's time for the Zealots to move. Spire on the way from Star. Third base up from Star. Where are the Zealots going to go? Are they going to go for the third base? Are they going to go for the natural base? Are there enough Lings to handle this now? There's a good number of them. There are 12 of them here, but there are 5 Zealots. The math doesn't add up. The math doesn't work. He needs more Zerglings. He's making 4 more of them, and he's got 2 here. So this should be enough. This right here should definitely be enough Zerglings, unless the micro of Bisu is godlike, which is entirely possible. See how they're on the ramp, so they can't get fully surrounded? This is pretty good. This is about as good as it can get, but more Zerglings are popping out right now, and yeah, the Zealots are all going to die. Maybe overmade Zerglings just a little bit. I mean, Star has a lot of Zerglings left over, which could just be a testament to how good his micro is, or it could just be that he made too many Zerglings. That said, he's going for mutas anyway, so he doesn't need a whole ton of minerals regardless. Zerglings heading from the south to the north, and they are going to find this Zergling, or the Zealot attack that's moving into the third base. And yeah, these Zealots are going nowhere fast. Sorry, guys. I just realized you can select units from both factions and get them down here in this tab and show their health. So that's pretty good. Scourge on the way from Star. Corsair production has begun now from Bisu, as is tradition in PvZ. The Corsairs are there to make sure that mutas aren't really a problem. Citadel of Adun just now finishing up, which probably will be for Zealot leg enhancements. It's a very, very good upgrade if you have a lot of Zealots. That said, I don't think Bisu has many Zealots anymore, but he will. He will continue making Zealots, and they will be part of the game for some time to come. Zealots are just tanky enough that they can, and really good at handling Zerglings throughout most of the game, that Zealots will be part of the core composition for Bisu for the next bunch of time until this game happens to be over. So welcome to your Thursday Brood War, by the way. Hope you're enjoying the Thursday Brood War. I have seen some comments from people saying I need more than 3 times a week. I can't do it. I can't do it right now, especially not right now, because in November, as the Zealots poke out a little bit, in November I am organizing and casting the WESG regional qualifiers for StarCraft 2 for the entire world, you guys. The whole incredible world. Everybody's playing for StarCraft 2 to compete, and there have to be regionals to determine who gets to go to the big bracket. And so that's where I come in, and it's been insane. It's been a ton of work, but it's been a lot of fun too. And it's nice to get an opportunity to kind of stretch myself and get out there in the StarCraft community a little bit more than I am. I'd love to live cast some Brood War stuff. There is somebody, I think a Shamatu on Twitter. I need to talk to him again about casting some Brood War things, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. Either way, Zealot pushing in again from Bisu. It's the follow-up. Very weird Zealot timing, but look at the defense here. We're ready for it, man. We got a Sunken. We got Zerglings. There's no way these Zealots are doing anything at all. That positioning is fantastic by that Sunken. And yeah, they're all getting stabbed. The Sunken colony is having a great time just ripping these Zealots limb from limb. Corsair flying around, trying to see what they can see. Same story here at the natural, or the third base rather. There is a Spore colony here, or a Spore colony, as I like to call them, because they are so similar yet so different as between StarCraft 2 and Brood War. Zealots coming up to try to get something done, but again, the Sunken is here, the Zerglings are here, and this is just exceptionally well defended by whoever the star player is. I can't imagine that there's somebody who can hang with Bisu in 2015 that has a tiny player page at Liquipedia. I don't understand it. Apparently there was some talk that it is a Japanese player. Apparently it's a talk that it is another Korean player named Baka, something I can't remember. But the Corsair are in here trying to kill these Overlords, taking shots from Spores and Hydras. In the meantime, Zealots trying to get rid of these Hydras too, but that's just too much Hydra and too much Sunken colony. Not allowed. Decent hit there. Did end up taking down one of the Corsair, connecting with one of the Scourge, I think for the first time in this game, is Star. So fourth base is done. We're sitting on a 2-base economy from Bisu. He's preparing for a third base along this left side, and some Dark Templar coming in here too now for Bisu. So that's kind of fun. I do like to see Dark Templar, especially making it work in Brood War is so hard, because every one of these Overlords is a detector, and guess what these Corsair are doing? They're killing every one of these Overlords. Hydra's on the ground though. Ah, you done messed up. You done messed up, son. One of them gets picked off. The very, very injured Corsair does end up dead. Overlords huddled around the Spore colony. Actually, not that huddled at all. Why are you going out? Oh, they just got speed. Well, speed makes it easier for them to run, at the very least. A Storm coming in from Bisu. Third base on the way from Bisu 2. He's going for High Templar. He's getting a robotics facility. Likely going to be for Reavers, just because Reavers are amazingly good against Zerg. That splash damage is killer against Hydras and against Zerglings and against Lurkers, which is largely what we're going to see here from Star as the Hydras are moving out for a bit of a counterattack. Hydra's pretty great against Zealots, especially in the open field. I'm not sure if these guys have, especially if they're microed, I guess, is more appropriate. Dark Templar got picked out in the open there too. That's why you bring an Overlord along. Thank you very much. Tacking on down. Thinking about attacking on in here, backing out a little bit. The Hydra count is a little bit scary here for Bisu. Zealots do have leg enhancements, which makes it easy for them to close the distance. They're better than slow Zealots would be in the situation. That said, still not ideal. If you want to deal with Hydras, Storm is so good, which is what this timing is. Out of Star, you get there before Storm is quite ready to go. That said, High Templar, it does have enough energy for Storm here. This is going to be key. The backside storms, the Zealots are kind of keeping the Hydras in place while the High Templar can get into place because they are slow, and there is the Storm! That is it. Oh, the High Templar both get picked off, though. That's probably a fair trade, honestly, in Star's estimation, is killing both of those High Templar and losing all of his Hydras in exchange. I think I would do that as a Zerg player. I would totally do that. There are more Hydras where that came from, and High Templar are expensive and really, really crucial for the upcoming battles for Bisu. He would have much preferred to keep those High Templar alive. Also in production, Lurker aspect. Yep, like I said, it's going to be Lurkers, it's going to be Dark Swarm, it's going to be Defilers. There's a Hive coming in now for Star. Where is our Hive? There's inside the main base, because of course it is. And yeah, 3 base and it's a 4 base right now. Star is up in supply versus the Zerg, but that is something that we've seen as the norm in this matchup. Towards the 11, 12, 13 minute mark of the match, the Protoss player is up in total supply, but then Zerg, if they can stay alive beyond this point, can really start to pull ahead and really show the capability of maxing out and getting a huge army and just doing more with less compared to the Protoss in a lot of situations. Is that just another hatch? No, just hanging out, making sure that Bisu's not expanding into places that Star doesn't know about. The Corsair still trying. There's an Overlord. Every Overlord they see, they just pounce right onto, unless too many Hydras are there, and in fact, there are. So good job, Overlords. Good job fleeing for your lives. That's literally your job right now, is to spot Dark Templar and flee from the Corsair. That is the plan. Bisu taking this base. He's expanding towards the Zerg player, which is something that Star does not want him to do. Expanding toward the Zerg means you're able to hold a position, attack, pull back, continue to push. And the Zerg player hates that stuff. He likes to chase you all the way home. All the way back here to the bottom left-hand corner. He doesn't want to chase you to a 4th base. Just right outside of his natural. Zealots, bad pathing there. Zealots are no good against Lurkers at all. The Lurkers binds tearing through them terribly. Hydras pushing out against these units, trying to bait everybody back here into the Sunkens and into the Lurkers, which is pretty good stuff. Of course, Corsair Chuck in the top left-hand corner sees some Zerg, but not enough to really be staging an attack anywhere else anytime soon. Defiler's on the way. Is making another Defiler mound? He must be, because, yep, he's making another Defiler mound. I guess he wants to get Consume and Plague at the same time, but this is almost done. It's not a very long upgrade. Anyway, go figure, huh? Additional Dark Templar coming in, working on those upgrades. +2 attack is done for Bisu. We are looking at, how are you guys doing? +1 on the missile attacks. Small attack into this 3rd base with a couple Hydralisks and a Lurker, but the majority of Bisu's army is here, so this is going to get shut down no problem. As it does. Scarab? No, that's Plague. That is Plague. So he did... I mean, there's only 2 upgrades. I don't know why he made another Defiler mound. Might have just been a brain fart. That happens. That happens to the best of us. It really does. All right, so now it's 4 base to 4 base. Where Bisu is, he's very comfortable with this. He's up about 40 supply on the Zerg player. I really don't know if Star is capable of coming back from this. I need to see some really good Dark Swarm play. Just some, like, godlike, Jaedong-like Dark Swarm play here. As only Star, as Bisu is coming in. Storm on the ramp. On the bridge here. Zerglings trying to come in and do stuff, but the Storms are pretty consistent, you guys. There's the Dark Swarm, and now the Zerglings are in, but you can Storm there too. The Storm will get through that Dark Swarm. Very smartly pulling back. The Defiler pulling back here too. Doesn't have enough energy for anything else. The Zerglings are just getting massacred here. This is looking exceptionally well for Bisu, you guys. As we do have the Defiler underneath the Dark Swarm and trying to get on out. Another perfect Storm there. Some consumes would be good on the Defiler for additional energy. Zerglings rolling in, trying to pick up some of the High Templar. They are going to get one or two of them. Maybe just one? Two of them. Officially two. Zerglings keep running into their deaths here. I gotta have better control. Nice. Is that a plague? Yeah, we did see a plague up there on those units. Scourge still flying back and forth. I still keep thinking that's a something, but it's not really. Corsair hanging out there too. And yeah, Bisu decides he's not getting through that somehow, some way. He will take down the 5th base. Thank you very much of Star. Lurkers trying to burrow in and save this hatchery. Again, fantastic against Zealots, and the Hydras are amazing against the Dragoons. Lings do get on top of the Dragoons coming in from the other side here. That is a big-time pickup and a beautiful Dark Swarm. The Zerglings having a great time against these Dragoons. The Zealots, not so much. And he does end up saving his 5th base like a boss. Again, this Star player, I did hear it theorized in the comments a couple times when I first cast these two players. Well, maybe it was Jaedong under a Smurf name, but it's not on the official Smurf name list. I guess, I suppose this could have been a secret for many, many years that this Aisukokoa player is, in fact, Jaedong, but I don't know. I really can't tell you. So, anyway, here we are working. This is it. This is what we're going to see until the end of the game. It's going to be Dragoons, Zealots. It's going to be Corsair, some Dark Templar, some Reavers, some High Templar here too from Bisu. And it's going to be Dark Swarm, Defiler with Plague on top of what he can. That's a nice, that was a beautiful plague on those Zealots. Wow. The Zealots are going to be absolutely bruised and beaten after that. Fantastic job. And it's going to be Hydralisks. And it's going to be Zerglings. It's a little bit more simple, I think, for the Zerg in this situation. There's a lot of units that Bisu's going to try to incorporate here, whereas it's just going to be, I think, those three, maybe some Scourge too, Zerglings, Hydras, Defilers. That's the general gist of it right now from the Zerg player. Is that additional? Yep, additional missile attacks on the way from Star. And pulling back a little bit is Bisu. He doesn't quite like what he saw there. He saw some really good plagues. He saw some good Dark Swarm. He's going to regather his forces. Reavers now officially in production. I feel like, well, yeah, the robotics facility has been used for other stuff to this point. Observers for the most part. And some shuttles too. Are there shuttles? I haven't seen any shuttles yet, but Bisu is definitely known for his shuttle play. We'll try to keep an eye out for that in the future. Zerglings rolling in, but overestimating a little bit. They do pick up a High Templar, though. That is a major win for that handful of Zerglings. That hurts. That really hurts if you're Bisu. Lurkers burrowing on in, and there's the Dark Swarm, and the Storm on top of the Lurkers, and Zerglings trying to get in here, too. Another fantastic plague. Just able to do this. Man, the spellcasting is really good in this game right now. Oh, pull back, and another fantastic plague. I mean, how many of these things are not plagued? I think everyone is plagued. Knocking down that HP to just unmanageable levels of 2. I love this Scourge. Scourge sitting here just means that if a shuttle tries to come this way, it will die. That said, I'm surprised that maybe it has. Maybe I've missed it, and these have just been replaced. I'd be surprised if that had happened, though. It'd be hard to replace these with what's going on the map right now. Regardless, look at this. We're back. It's 192 to 200 supply. Star is doing fine for himself. Economically, he's got his 5th base up and running very, very strongly. He's got it defended here, too. And where do we go to see a 5th base for Bisu? It looks like possibly here or in the far top left-hand corner. Probably down here, though. Yeah, it's a little bit safer to take that one first if you are a Protoss player. All right, these battles are going to be big. So let's get big real fast here. Oh, is that a drop attempt? That is a drop attempt in this top left-hand corner, but kind of right on top of the Protoss army. There's a plague on the Corsair. There's a Dark Swarm coming up, so the Hydras are virtually invincible. The Zerglings need to pull back to that, though. Man, the Storms on the Hydras, though, that's exactly what you have to do. But pushing up with another huge army down toward the south here is Star. He might actually go for the flank attack as the units inside this Dark Swarm continue to kind of hang out. Lurkers getting murdered. This Defiler gets killed as well. Again, splash damage for Markons not affected by the Dark Swarm. Ling's trying to roll in on top of these High Templar, and sure, they're taking some Storm damage, but that is 1 High Templar, 2 High Templar, and 4 High Templar get killed right there. Amazing target firing on behalf of the Zerg player. Here we go. Star gets some Dark Swarm up on top of this base before it's even really in its infancy here. Oh, that Nexus is gonna finish. It needs to be canceled. This is a direct Zerg Swarm overrun by Star. Who is this guy? The Nexus is canceled. He gets a bit of a refund there, does Bisu, but he'd really rather have a 5th base right now. These guys are kind of trapped. I don't know if they're going anywhere, man. They can't get down this ramp. They're severely outnumbered. What a counterattack from Bisu. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. There's the Dark Swarm. There's the Plague on the Archons, which they do not care about. But this is just too many Zerglings. The Lurker's getting some hits in there too, and that whole army gets wiped out. So now it's 197 to 180 supply in favor of the Zerg. Star sitting on his 5 base. He's content to let Bisu sit on his 5th for now. He really hasn't made a major attempt to take down this at all in this game. I do remember in the previous match, he did attempt to get in there with a couple drops. He went for ultras at some point, did pretty well with it, but at this stage, I really don't see him going for ultras. He's doing so very, very well with what he has. The Lurkers have been here. The Defilers have been on point with that Dark Swarm. Ling's up here just scouting the movements of the Protoss army, and Bisu's back up to max level. I mean, he's not going to stay down for long, right? Absolutely not, but that's a lot of Lurkers, man. There's that Dark Swarm too. This is another Plague on top of it. A great storm inside of the Dark Swarm. Back here against the Hydras too, but there's a lot of Lurkers present. Reavers in here getting different shots off underneath the Dark Swarm. This is a nice play by Bisu. He took a lot of losses in there, but he did manage to clear out the Zerg army. But guess who's coming from the left side and from the top side? It is a lot of Zerg here from Star. That is so many Lurkers. Another Plague goes down. The shuttle picks up and gets out with what it can. Exit stage right there. And that was a crushing. It's 176 to 137 supply. Yeah, sure, lost a small battle there, but won a bigger one later, did Star. This player, you guys, can hold toe-to-toe with Bisu in a 20-minute game. There are not many Zergs in the world that are capable of this. Who is this mystery man? If you could do this with Bisu, you gotta be able to make it to finals of major premier tournaments, major events, but not as Aisu Kokoa. Nobody knows that name. Nobody knows Star that well either. I am blown away. This is high-level Zerg, unlike that which we generally see anywhere else outside of Jaedong. Honestly, of all the Zerg games that I've cast, there have been some good ZVPs, but the level of control exhibited here with the Dark Swarm and the Plague is just, it's Jaedong-esque. And I don't know how else to explain it here. So at this point, we're content to starve out Bisu. Bisu can have the 3rd base, he can have the 4th base. The natural and the main are gone. 5th base running nicely. 6th base coming up at the 12 o'clock position for Star. And he's just making sure it's very hard to get in this top left-hand corner for Bisu without Star knowing about it. He has great map control. The red is everywhere on the map right now. And the Swarm is getting a little bit scary. A little bit scary right now. 3-3 Hydras. 3-3 Hydras. 3-2-2 upgrades on the ground units for Bisu. More steer we go. This is going to be the Storm Plague event of the year. Dark Swarm coming up here too. Zealots wandering in there get killed. The Reavers are trying to do what they can, but they're all plagued. They're all extremely fragile right now, but clearing out Lurkers is what these guys do. They're siege breakers is what the Reavers are, and pushing back. So it looks like Bisu might have won that engagement, but what he really needs more than anything else right now is a 5th base. He's down. He's down big time in economy and ability to reproduce an army. The bank is huge for Star. It's 5,600 for minerals and gas, whereas Bisu is sitting on 400 gas period in his bank and 1,000 minerals. That's the thing. The Zerg player can afford to take a couple bad engagements and just remax, whereas Bisu cannot do that. And that's generally the state of PvZ, but man, the Dark Swarms all down this way, just right from top to bottom here. We have Hydras coming on in, pushing against these Dragoons, the High Templar in there too, getting target fire down quite nicely. Dark Swarm actually protecting the High Templar a little bit until Zerglings get on top of them. This is just a beautiful 360 surround on the remaining units by Bisu. That was a shellacking. Trying to drop up here. Oh, did he lose? No, the shuttle is alive. Bisu is desperately trying to use this one shuttle and 2 Reavers to make something happen, but I think that was the beginning of the end. I don't know how Bisu comes back from this, you guys. I don't see it. I really love how patient Star's been in this game. He's allowed Bisu these 4 bases. He hasn't really run in here and tried to do something crazy. He's just won the engagements in the middle of the map and made sure no 5th base was possible for Bisu. So who is this guy that can beat Bisu like this? I don't know. We'll figure it out It'll be an ongoing investigation for everybody who loves Brood War, because this is crazy stuff. All right. I mean, this is Zerg Swarm at its best. Fully upgraded Cracklings, Scourge running around, Hydras fully upgraded, Lurkers fully upgraded, ton of Defilers, 1, 2, 3 Defilers on the left side. Defilers on the right side, not necessarily, but here we come. Look, swinging around from the back side here. This is just a lot. This is too much from Bisu. Oh, the Storms are amazing. He's feeling good about winning on this northern front, but coming from the left side, more Storms. The micro not really all that apparent here, but High Templar getting picked off by the Hydralisks. Another Plague on top of the Reaver, and that is your good game. The Protoss army gets eviscerated, and Star is your winner in 25 minutes and 33 seconds. Holy Schenectadies. That was incredible stuff. Incredible stuff from the Zerg player. My heart says it's Jaedong. It really does. What other Zerg player in the history of StarCraft has ever been able to handle Bisu like that? Anyone? Anyone besides Jaedong? I need a list. I need to list you guys of people who've been able to absolutely physically manhandle Bisu like this in a 25-minute game. Be this patient. Have this amazing Dark Swarm control. This amazing Plague control. I think every single ground unit of Bisu's was plagued at some point once Plague was available. And look at this. Didn't throw units away uselessly at these bases. He just said, you know what? I don't need to. I'm not gonna. I'm going to expand myself. I'm going to make sure 5th base is never, ever taken. If Bisu tries to move out on the map, I will absorb the Storms. I will absorb the Reaver hits. And I will win. Brilliant, brilliant play here from Star. All right, let's check out that final score screen, which again tells us a story. 800 units produced by the Zerg player, 579 lost. Bisu ended up producing only 327, but killed 536 with that. Resources, yeah, there we go. 19,000 gas mine to 17,000 for Bisu, 51,000 to 46,000, 63,000 spent for Star, and 61,000 spent for Bisu. But Bisu was mined out, and there was additional income coming in for Star. He saw the writing on the wall, plus his army was dead. So that is another consideration. Boo! But all right, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.